Hello everybody, this is Bench85. Welcome back to another episode of Farming Simulator 19, where, well, things are not going quite as planned. It is definitely autumn, as you can probably see. Late autumn, I should say. And if you look here, these fields finished out. They're ready to harvest. These did not advance to the next level. They stopped growing. So that means no silage. Those are wasted fields, which is really unfortunate. I should have probably turned it the other driveway. The other problem we're having here is you can still see it is wet. It rained overnight. We've got rain coming in for tomorrow afternoon. 80% chance. Oh look, we got snow up here. So because of that, I think we need to upgrade something because we need to keep rolling with. Yeah, there she is. Oh. Look at that. 70,000 units. So it goes from 46, 56, 70. Yeah, we're going to do that. And we're going to run it blue, of course. That is a big auger wagon. The reason we're doing this on these really long fields that we have coming up here, we're going to run into the trouble of trying to keep our combine empty enough. And I ran into problems with that in some of our other fields, especially with corn, because corn runs pretty strong. There's quite a bit of it, and that gets harvested per acre. So we're going to start running into some serious problems. So I figure this way I can run actually more than a semi-full. So we're going to have 1.5 semi-fulls worth of grain cart. So basically I can switch back and chase the combine whenever I need to. I'll always have space, especially in this one. And we'll just run the combine as much, or the semi back and forth as much as we can. Plus, I really wanted to use this giant tracked one, and I figured on a tracked tractor. It's just awesome. This cart's a little different, I guess. Yeah, the other one has auger that reaches down inside. This guy has the auger out in front. So let's see here. Ooh, it's got a lot of reach too. I like that. Let's save the output point. It does look like it does. Cool. I'm still getting used to this turning a little bit. We've got quite a bit fertilized. We've got some of the stuff dug up, but I mean, obviously we're gonna have to stop our digging here with this guy, just because we're gonna be chasing the combine now. So once it dries out enough here, we can start running corn through our combine and see how far we can get before it rains tomorrow. Well, hopefully we can go as far as we can. We got animals to feed tomorrow too, so we're gonna have to take a break from stuff at some point. But I'm curious how this guy is gonna work. Well, it looks like since this field wasn't fertilized at all, it's actually gonna be pretty easy to chase. If it was fertilized, it'd probably be close to a full bin full on one pass. Here we're looking at almost 60%. So it's not gonna be that big of a deal. But we'll just have one tractor and one cart on each end basically, and we'll empty out the combine up here, and then down there we'll empty out again, and we'll just keep running like that and see how it happens, or how it works out. Kind of want to see how this lines up to the combine though. Oh, I did not There we go. Had to set it down to 6%, or 6 miles per hour. Otherwise we're going to have a hard time chasing. Oh yeah, that lines up perfect. I thought it was going to be too high, but not an issue whatsoever. And just like that, combine's empty. We've got almost 10,000 units in there, which means we can do that another 6 more times, because we got 70,000 units to work with. Or if we get, around 60, we can go down and fill up a semi, basically. That's what's going to be the plan. This one's got a little bit in it too, so the semi sits there. I'm contemplating getting another semi-trailer, and then we can just leave a trailer sitting in the field and just basically dump into it, and then bring the semi over here and swap. Well, swap trailers, or else maybe buy a better semi, and I don't know. I've been throwing around ideas, but at the same time, we need to get this cash that we have into paying stuff off. In fact, I'm actually going to do some of that right now, because I feel like we don't need anything that we have, or need anything significant right now. So we had 910,000. So now that we just paid off 110, let's bring it all the way down to 700. That'll make me feel a little better. There. So we got significantly less loan. And our goal is to have that all paid off before we start next year. So I guess we'll see how things go. Well, guys, this is what it comes down to. We cannot chop this corn. One thing is just not capable of it, but I mean, there's no way around it. It's not tall enough, it's not mature enough, it's not worth it. So we're gonna have to take off some of this field, and I'm deciding to do that first. Excuse me. Mostly because if you look up in the weather area there, it's saying that the crops are wet. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, it's showing 72% crop moisture. I think what it is, there must be a horn or something, or I don't know, it sounds like a boat horn. Yeah, it's at 22%. It must be an overnight thing, which is cool because at this time of year, that's exactly what would happen. You get a lot of dew, you get a lot of moisture, things get wet. Generally, we could not run. Oop. I don't know which side. I think I want to start on this side down here. I don't care about that field anymore. I don't care about that field either. Normally we'd have to wait before we could combine or do any sort of harvesting until things dried out a bit, so that's where we're at, which is unfortunate because, well, I'm full plate. Unfortunately for us, there's rain coming today. He should sit there. Oop, I just went past you. There we go. There's rain on the way, so I don't know how much time we're going to get for actual combining. But that is what it is. We'll see how things go here. We got to figure out how much silage we can take off, or we're going to need to take off, because I'd like to not take off too much. So, while this is chopping away, we can kind of figure that out. So if you go to here, actually I gotta feed these guys. So the cattle pasture is at roughly 200,000 liters for the year, 450 here. So that's 650. We're gonna make it 700 because the animals are gonna continue to grow and there's gonna be more of them. Then we need to take 60% of that. 10% would be 70,000. Half of that would be 350, so 420,000 roughly. And we have, and the reason I'm doing 60% is that's about how much we have in our mix for our TMR. We've got 126, and I said about what, 420,000. So we need about 300,000 units more, roughly. If we take it off 60 at a time, 5 loads would be 300,000. So maybe we take 6 loads off. It looks like it's going to go pretty quick. I mean, we've almost got a quarter of a load here. The only downside is what? 420. We're going to be right around 500,000, so it's going to be about the max of what that silo can hold. So hopefully we get enough silage for next year. We may just end up filling it up and see where we end up. So keep you guys posted and see how things work out here. That turnaround's not going to make it, is it? Oh, we did make it. Nice. I was wrong. I really wish I could take those fields off. This corner is not going to go very well, is it? Oh yeah, look at that, we did it. We could use a shorter semi. But like I said, we got to get our money going towards paying off our debt. And then I'll be happy. Then we can expand as much as we want. So let's see how much silage we can get. Well, I think this should be it. This is, I think, load number 6. We've taken off a decent chunk of corn, that's for sure. I was thinking we would have had extra silage between those 2 fields, but it would have been close. No, probably not. This is probably as much as what's in that field, and then we would have had that one extra. So we would have had to find a place for it to go. So you, buddy, whoop, wrong implement. So we're going to be done with this guy. The rest of it we're going to end up combining. I think that's going to be the smart move to do here. We know we had extra hay from last year, so if we had to, we could make some silage bales if we needed to run that route. Or we can even chop stuff off and see where that goes to, but we'll have to see how it goes next year and how feeding goes. I'm actually going to leave this guy up in this shed for now. Yeah, you can stay up there. Oop. Don't get out. Drive. So this should get us pretty darn close to 500,000 units of silage. I'll have to check the numbers here and see exactly where we're at, but we're cutting it close. It's almost 4 o'clock. Let's see the clock up there, 3:43, and I believe the rain was forecasted to come in about 6-7 o'clock. So we're about 2 to 3 hours away from rain, although the forecast is not showing that now, like up and coming. It's still showing that it's going to rain. Not a lot, but it's supposed to rain. So we'll have to see what happens. But I guess this is the second to last thing that we needed to do this fall. The last thing being, we got to get the rest of the corn off. So it's starting to feel like an accomplished season. I've been happy with how things have gone. We've got quite a bit in the bank right now, I think. I have to look. Or did we sell most of it off? No, I'm not so sure. I know we just sold off the sunflowers because those are on high demand. Or great demand. I don't know why the cows jump like that. It's like they're frozen in time and then all of a sudden they catch back up. We've got a lot of manure that we can spread, that's for sure. We're gonna have to do that. We got some fields we can spread it on. Let's look here though. First we can look and see here. So we took off that much silage. Oh yeah, it would have been, there would have been a decent amount of silage extra. We got this left to combine too. So we definitely got some stuff to do. So we've got wheat. We do have a bunch of barley. I think we're actually short on wheat in there, so we could put barley into the pig maker if we need to. We've got 660,000 units of corn, and we're going to keep filling that. And right now we've got 241,000 of silage. We can actually see, if I kick over a little bit here, trying to hit, oh, we cut it short. That's why. There we go. So we've got 223,000 of chaff and 242, so we're at about 470 roughly. We figured we needed a little over 400,000, so that should be plenty. That's almost the full silo filled, although maybe let's see that next year, but I feel like with the way the silo systems work, your limit is 500,000, but it's 500,000 per crop. So I think you could get 500,000 silage and 500,000 chaff into it. I think it would allow that. It'd be interesting to test. We don't have a need to this year, but I have a feeling we're going to be setting up a pretty good sized field for chopping next year. We're going to have to, but we're going to have to be smart about it. Is what it's going to come down to. That was a really bad job of backing up. But we're going to have to start taking corn off. Or finish taking corn off is what it's going to be. And we'll come out with our season totals here to wrap things up for the episode. We'll see how things went. Alright guys, this is it. This is the last load of corn coming in. Already took the partial load in. Another 60,000 units. But it is all cleaned off, picked off. At least it should be. We set the cruise control here, let it hopefully drive somewhat straight. I'm just looking at this, trying to figure out what we need to do. Going ahead here. Yep. So we've got this field growing still. These two darn things are growing still. We've got this one to lime. We've got this one to lime and this one. This one I can't lime until next year. But that's it. That's the end of the harvest. It is literally the last day of autumn, day 12, which is crazy to think. We had a lot that was late corn that we were taking off, a lot more than we had in the past, which makes a difference. We do have quite a bit dug up, which I'm happy with, but we're not going to get it all dug this season. We're going to have to do some digging in the spring. We've got some fields we're going to have to plow in the spring, I think. I'm just looking to get the lime on and hopefully spread out manure and fertilizer and stuff and get all that taken care of here before winter sets in. We can't do anything else. This is going to be impressive. This is all the corn that we harvested this year. You gotta remember our biggest fields that we had, I'm already starting to put equipment away. Our biggest fields that we had, we did not even have fertilized. So if we had it fully fertilized, can you imagine how much corn we could be running? But I think next year we're not going to run much corn. I want to play around with the other crops that are here. Those seem to be the ones that get the great demands anyways, but I just kind of want to see what they look like and see what happens. As long as it doesn't require any special equipment, I'm good for it. Let's see here, we've got, the corn is counting up. Last 10,000 right here. Here we go, almost 850,000 units. That is impressive. So we have that stored up, and we've got all of our prices here. This one's at 1,100. So we could get almost $900,000 out of this, which I'm actually really tempted to do. We still have this backlogged, which is over 1,000 as well. So we've got 200,000 backlogged. I'm really tempted to sell a bunch of the corn right now, but at the same time, I'm looking at this, and looks like corn could go up quite a bit here. So I'm gonna hold out and see what happens. Maybe we sell it at a different time, but we gotta sell it regardless, and we gotta get out of debt, because that's our goal before we start working next spring. Before we start putting stuff in the ground, we need to be out of debt. That's our goal. So I'm gonna leave this here for now and see how things work out. Where's this guy? There he is. I have to watch him close because he runs out so fast. But I'm gonna grab this tractor here and start spreading fertilizer and see how much I can get done today. I'm gonna have to stop spreading fertilizer at some point here, and when we start doing lime over at the other location, the pig farm area. Oh, this guy isn't even full. Oh, we can change that. Because we're gonna have to take the conveyor over there and haul the lime over there, so we don't have to keep coming back to here, because that just doesn't make sense. And I've got 2 bags of lime sitting on the ground here because the silo here is full, and I'm almost out of fertilizer too. But fertilizer doesn't go as fast, so we should be good until next year. I'm not worried about that. But I guess I'll bring you guys in when the snow first flies and we have to shut down for the year, and we'll see where we end up. I'm used to driving the tracked one, and I'm not used to the steering, having to wait for it. I really like how those drive, so I might have to buy another one. Well, here we are, guys. It's officially winter. And when I say that, I mean the ground is frozen. We cannot dig anymore. The field work has come to an end, and I am selling a little bit of the corn because there's something I want to do today, guys. Absolutely want to do. Actually, there's a couple things I want to do. Now that I think about it, I think we're going to need another load of corn. Darn it. To do what I want to do. But I haven't decided yet. Corn is at its highest price. It's actually starting to fall. It's at about $14.62 here per 1,000 liters. It was $1,500 yesterday. I thought it was going to be higher today, but apparently it dropped a little bit, which is unfortunate. Last year it was higher. So it just goes to show that it changes sometimes. But what this is going to do for us is one basic principle. It's going to get us over 700,000. You know what that means? We can officially get out of debt. So if we go into here, we have 700,000 in debt. Oh, this is gonna feel good. Yep, no debt, no debt. Keep going, keep going. No more $1,500 a day in loan interest. I'm gonna be able to gray out this button. This is a lot of clicks. Yep, we do not have enough for what else I wanted to do. Look at that. We owe nothing, and we only have 55,000. Okay. In that case, we're gonna have to sell something. Probably. Whoop, go around there. Probably we'll need to sell another load of corn. So I guess while I drive here, we'll chat a bit. And we'll lock in the cruise control and hope we don't run into anything. As far as an update of where we are here while I'm driving. Where am I? There. We gotta watch this because I gotta take this road up here. If we go here, everything's been fertilized. I didn't really want to go to that one. This is the one I wanted to go to. Still driving pretty straight. So we got all these fields fertilized and cultivated all these fields. So all we have left are this bunch around these two farms and this lone field over here. Still watching where I'm going. So we do have quite a bit of digging to do, but that's not something I want to do at the moment. Well, I can't do it anymore. We may end up getting a different planter next year. We may end up getting more equipment next year. I think we're going to have to. Because like the big field, what is it, field 17, the one we bought this year, right in front of us, or in front of our home farm. It took almost a whole day to cultivate that sucker. It is big. I think I'd like to get to the point where I can actually double up. So we have 2 planters. Well, we're going to need 2 planters because we're going to be switching to a different setup, because the one we have now, while it does everything, it doesn't fertilize. So we're going to split into one that does most of the sowing and one that does the corn planting, stuff like that. Basically row cropping. And they're going to be able to use fertilizer. I also feel like, let's see, right about here. There's a reason I'm driving through here. I feel like the grain bins that we have here is not going to be enough, so I think we're going to put in another set of them here at some point, probably this coming year, because we had 860 units of corn this time around, and part of that is because, well, we messed stuff up and didn't plant at the right time, so we had to chop some of the stuff that we were going to harvest. And a lot of that, I don't think it was fertilized at all. So it's going to produce a lot more, especially if we're doing corn. So we're going to need the space. And the extensions, I was looking this up. The extensions are 90,000 for 100,000 units. That means if you wanted to put in 1,000,000 units, you'd have to pay 900,000. I don't want to pay 900,000 for another 1,000,000 units. Or I could put in another one of these guys, the quad ones, and it'd be like 350,000. So that's going to be the better option. It's going to come out this way, which means we're going to take some more of our field here, and it also means we're going to put in a road here. Because I want a road coming out this way, right about where I'm driving actually this time. So I'm going to connect in right here. Hopefully I can turn better when I do it the next time, so I'll probably build it up a little differently. And then we can head this way if we need to, or we can head out the other way if we have to go that way. I think that'll be beneficial. The other thing we need to do, and that's what I want to do, I need $100,000 to do it. Our cows are having an issue over there. We ran out of space in our little one, and I don't have the space to move them. I don't know if I want to move them and build a bigger one. I think I'm just going to build a second pen for now. That'll store another 50 units, 50 head of animals. But like I said, it costs 100,000. So we gotta sell some more corn. But the best part is we don't have any more interest payments. I'm so happy to be out of debt. We'll probably end up borrowing to get something to work out, but I hope not. I'm really hoping too that we get a great demand on this corn, because that would be awesome. And even though it dropped a little bit, we're still selling it for, it was 14.58 now. But if you remember, it was, what was it, down to 800 or something like that? So we're almost double the price, which is awesome. But I also tweaked the weather a little bit because I don't like how dry it is and like how little snow there was in the winter. So now if you look at the weather, we've got, I guess, no chance of snow, but there's some chances of snow coming up here. Hopefully it rains a little bit more during the summer so we don't have so much patchiness going on. Like I said, it's a it's a custom weather setup that I'm doing. I believe I've explained that before, but I'm trying to tailor it. It's designed for the Midwest. I'm tailoring it for the Wisconsin area here, so trying to make it work out. Plus, I think having a little more rain makes it a little more interesting because it means you have to plan for the weather a little bit better. Whereas this last year, it's just like, oh, let's just cruise because it's not raining. So it'll make harvest a little more difficult and make us think about things a little bit more, I think. But doubling up on stuff like the planters, and I'd like another cultivator, and at some point here I'd like to replace the John Deere tractor that we have with a bigger one, just so we have bigger tractors to work with, so they can all do any of the items I need, or relatively all the items I need. So we'll see how that plays out. Oh, that's actually enough. So you're actually going to sit there. Now you're going to come here. So for example, like I have, let's see here. I'm down to 42 because I took some of them out. And it can only hold 50, but if you look here, we've got a newborn, we've got some 1+-year-olds here. These are our first set, so they're 4 years old. And then we've got another set here, another set here. So we probably got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 10 of them, and we can only fit 8 of them. So that is an issue. So what I want to do is I want to put another pen in here. Just a regular cattle pasture. And I want it facing the same way here. How far? Okay, so that's where it's able to be done. I think I'll put it right there. And we're gonna have to do some landscaping and stuff. I'll have to work this out. Probably put a little bit of a road of some sort in here. We may need to deform this a little bit here. One thing we do need to do right off the bat is we need to get water going here before I go any further. Yes. So that'll get put in tomorrow. So then I can move animals into here tomorrow. But I wanted to lay it out like this because water's not a big deal. We can do that however we want to do it. Straw is right here. So basically we back into this, or come through here like we do. Blow straw into here, then go down there, blow straw into that one. It makes a loop. Actually works out better. For feeding, I think this works out better too because we can come in here forwards and drive over here, fill this one, and then just back up over here, fill that one, and continue on. Whereas before I'd have to come into here and kind of back up and back through here, and I don't know, just it was awkward. So this I think will work out better. We did lose a little bit of hayland, so I guess we'll see. We may have to put some more in if we don't have enough, but we'll see how that goes. And I guess if we were to need another silo for silage, we could always put another one here facing backwards, like facing this way. So the spout would be over here. There's enough room in here that would work. We just gravel in a bunch of this. So that's a thought. But regardless, I'm going to wrap up the episode here. We're going long because I'm talking a lot. I'm going to work my way through the winter here. At least we don't have to pay any more interest. And I'll meet you guys back here in the springtime when the snow melts out and we can start working land up again. And maybe buy some more equipment. So we'll see how that goes. So thank you guys all for watching. And as always, take it easy.